So I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done in a long time, but I'd like to make this a semi-regular feature that I do on my website, which is to feature an entire week devoted to a single villain. And the one I did before, which had to have been over a year ago at this point, was all of the Silver Age stories featuring Batman villain Two-Face. 7 stories was the total. That was all of them. And so it was kind of nice that it worked out that way. This time I'm going to do the Prankster. And so this is going back to the Golden Age. And I'd like to do a lot more of these Golden Age villains, starting with the Superman villains. The most obvious would be Lex Luthor, but I'm going to start with the Prankster. The Prankster, his name is Oswald Hubert Loomis. One interesting thing was that, so I've probably done like 14 or 15 of the stories. I don't remember his name ever being mentioned. And so I looked it up on Google, and the AI system, I think it's Gemini, said that his name was mentioned in the first story. I don't believe that's true. I have not found any mention of what his name is, so I think that came in later, but maybe some sharp-eyed viewers will spot it, or maybe I'll spot it as I go through this stuff again. You can see he's got a very unique look to him. He's got large ears, gap-toothed teeth, center part haircut. He's got a very round body with thin limbs, so he's rather cartoonish looking. Superman didn't have a lot of villains in the Golden Age. The first villain he had was Ultra Humanite. Mr. Mxyzptlk had a lot of appearances. The Toyman, of course, Lex Luthor. Someone who fans may not even know about, which is J. Wilbur Wolfenham. He definitely disappeared after the Golden Age, maybe a few more appearances. The Prankster's abilities are listed in Wikipedia as genius level intellect and equipment usage. I would describe him as more of an audacious con man, although things changed over time. But what might surprise people is that of the Superman villains in the Golden Age, Prankster had the second most appearances after Lex Luthor. So this was a popular character. His first appearance was Action Comics number 51, so that's what I'm going to start with. Published in August 1942 with story by Jerry Siegel and art by John Sikela. After the Prankster, now he had 25 Golden Age appearances as far as I can tell, with 2 single panel cameos that I'm not even counting. So I'm not going to do those stories because he appeared in them in just a single panel. After that would be Mr. Mxyzptlk with, I count, 15 appearances. Lex Luthor easily wins with 37 appearances. Then you have the Toyman with 9 and Ultra Humanite with 6. So clearly based on those numbers, I would have to assume that the Prankster was a very popular character in the Golden Age. He did continue on, but very sporadically. So this is, I guess, kind of what he appears like now. He's now thin, boring. I don't know. I think his appearances are extremely rare at this point. In fact, in the Silver Age, I can't even find his appearances in the Silver Age, but my impression is that they are way, way lower. So basically, he would do very broad con jobs that would attract Superman's attention. One of the things I like about Prankster, because I don't think he's a particularly popular character, but hopefully if people stick with it and go through the stories, you might formulate your own opinion. But he's just a regular guy who does con jobs. And so he is highly intelligent, but he's basically going against a god and loses, of course, because Superman is Superman. As time goes on in the Golden Age, he would show certain traits. Like he apparently had some incredible chemistry skills. I don't think this improved the character. He was shown inventing like machinery and objects, so he was becoming kind of like the toy man. As he, you know, as Wikipedia said, equipment usage. As he started to do that, as he started to have some theme crimes, he became more. He resembled more other villains, particularly like a Batman villain, and I think he became a little less interesting. I liked when he was just a con man. The later two stories, the last two stories, which is going to be a long time coming before I get to them, he does a team up. He does two team ups in two different stories. And I thought those were very interesting because team ups were pretty rare. These were the last two stories that he did he appeared in the Golden Age. In one story, he teams up with Mr. Mxyzptlk and Lex Luthor. In another story, he teams up with Lex Luthor and the Toyman. So I particularly like those stories, and he was more pure to the original character. But I hope people like this. After the Prankster, my plan is to do the Toyman. I've actually done I think more than half of the Toyman's appearances. After that, I would like to do the Ultra Humanite. The Ultra Humanite has been a more enduring character. He's changed quite a bit, but this was not only Superman's first villain, I think that he's considered maybe the first DC supervillain, maybe the first supervillain ever. His was only 6 appearances, and then probably Mr. Mxyzptlk. I don't know if I'm going to do J. Wilbur Wolfingham. I think that I've only got maybe 2 stories. I think he did 2 stories in the Superman comics and 2 stories in World's Finest in the Golden Age. But that was another con man, I think less interesting than the Prankster. But this is something new that I'd like to do. Again, I did something similar. I don't think it was a rousing success. But we'll see what kind of views I get. I probably will continue, even if I don't get the views I'm hoping for. I'm certainly going to finish the Prankster because I'm almost done with all of the stories. There are, of the 25 Prankster Golden Age appearances, I've probably got 20. There is a gap in my collection, but I've got a vast majority of them. So 2 full weeks and most of a third week. And it's going to probably take about 4 or 5 months before I finish this and then move on to another character. But I hope people like it, and leave comments on your feelings about the Prankster, because I think he's a compelling villain, even though he definitely did barely survived outside the Golden Age.